In the Who's on First skit by Abbott and Costello, the two comedians are having a confusing conversation about players on a baseball team. The comedy is built around the misunderstanding and miscommunication, revolving around the names of the players, the basemen. The primary breakdown here is the misunderstanding due to noise in the conversation, which causes confusion. Abbott is using player names like who, what, and I don't know as the name of their baseman. And it sounds like questions to Costello, who is genuinely trying to understand the team lineup. Costello's reactions, like growing more frustrated as the conversation goes on, shows poor interpersonal communication skills as he fails to adjust his approach to the conversation or ask clarifying questions in a way that could prevent the confusion. Meanwhile, Abbott continues to speak calmly and explain, but his tone and the absurdity of the situation only escalates Costello's frustration. The escalation happens because of the lack of active listening from Costello. He interprets everything Abbott says and fails to understand that Abbott is telling him the names of the players. As Abbott sticks to his script, Costello's frustration builds, making the situation more crazy and confusing. The breakdown intensifies as Costello's tone becomes sharper and his responses become more strongly and exasperated, while Abbott maintains a more neutral tone. It only contrasts with Costello's, just increasing the confusion and irritation. As the team owner watching this exchange, I would first recognize that this misunderstanding is the result of noise in the exchange. My first act would be to stop the conversation and acknowledge what went wrong, and then we reword the engagement. And then I'd approach the men separately to avoid escalating it further. And I'd start by clarifying the issue for both Abbott and Costello. With Abbott, I would explain the importance of speaking clearly, being aware of how his tone and word choice can cause confusion. Even though Abbott's explanations are technically correct, his tone and his delivery might have made Costello think that he was being mocked, which led to his frustration. To Costello, I would tell him to practice active listening skills and ask clarifying questions in the future. I'd point out that sometimes people's reactions are influenced by noise, and the key is to remain calm and focus on the message that's being delivered. The key to clearing up this issue would be to address the communication gap between the two men. I'd suggest that Abbott change his approach by using more direct language, like instead of saying what he did, who, what, I don't know. The name, he could say the name of the first baseman is who. The name of the first baseman is who. A more direct way of saying that his name is who. I'd also ask that Costello refrain from jumping to conclusions and focus on active listening to prevent overreacting. The key for both of them is to avoid using words and phrases that could cause confusion. Really, the whole way it was structured was just causing confusion for both of them. What I'd say to help them work together in the future, in order for Abbott and Costello to work, together more effectively in the future, I'd advise both men to approach communication with more patience, improve their active listening skills, and have more clarity in the communication. I'd suggest being mindful of how he structures his explanations, both of them, and collaboration and patience Patience is a big part of communication. You got to be patient with the other person to really figure out what they're saying. That's part of active listening and interpersonal communication. By improving their interpersonal communication skills and understanding each other's communication styles, Abbott and Costello could avoid future breakdowns and more effectively work together. Thank you.